Have you ever wondered what it really takes to make Agile work? Well, at the Global Agile Summit, we're bringing you real-life, first-person stories of Agile succeeding out there in the real world that will inspire you to take action. Whether you're a leader, a product innovator, a developer, you'll hear practical insights from those who've done it. They'll be telling their own stories from the stage. I'll tell you more about this at the end of this episode, so stay back and listen to the full detailed description of what we have in store for you at the Global Agile Summit. But if you can't wait, you can go right now to globalagilesummit.com and check out our full schedule. For now, on to the episode, but I'll see you at the end of this episode with more details on the Global Agile Summit. Talk to you soon. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Wednesday, the Leading Change episode here on the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast. And this week we have with us Deniz Ari. Hey, Deniz, welcome back.
Hi, hello.
So change is the topic of today's conversation, Deniz, and we really want you to focus on a specific change process you were part of. And how did that happen over time, right? Like, what were the steps that you took? What were the strategies, the approach, the tools, the tips, the tricks, and the techniques that you learned during that process that you still apply today?
The change subject is quite interesting, and I'm really into it. Because this is very difficult. At the same time, it's a very long process. Doesn't matter which change it is for. Is it like in work environment, tools, technology, even meetings, even the framework you're implementing or creating something from scratch is the change. Change always difficult for anyone. It's not like someone's only, some different personalities. But what I know about the change, we need to little bit give some time, and we need to trust the process, which is, maybe you heard about this, the change curve, it's not happening in one line, there is a phase of the change, the denial, there is sometimes anger, blame, fear and bargaining, and there is sometimes quiet and depression, or maybe when you go down about the curve, exploration, decision, integration, and this is like a kind of process. Doesn't matter which kind of change. The time can be, the time milestones can be changed, but yeah, it will definitely gonna take phases, because this is the new thing. You, as a human, you're reacting. Doesn't matter which change or who is introducing. As a human, because you need to protect what you have. That's why change always difficult and interesting subjects. I just want to carry on with my change story. I involved and what happened, what I learned. As a Scrum team, we use JIRA, Atlassian tools. And of course, we had some way of workings, the creating backlogs, sprint planning, the refinements. We're following this kind of things. But there was and generally we have more than 10 in-flight projects. It's not like a one huge project. And some of them related to each other, and there is a tons of dependency. That's why I introduced big picture tool under the Atlassian. It's kind of you have plenty, you have plenty functional under the big picture, like a Gantt chart, link it and people's capacity, the storing and filters. It's amazing tool. I don't know if I like a lot, and I did like some tidy up on my JIRA backlogs. I'd introduced the management, but yeah, it was a big reaction. Everyone like it. It looks nice because it's very user friendly. It's not like a JIRA or it's very because visual. It's very catchy. That's why people like it. But what happened? Time to time, I found myself the only person updating using the tool, and the people still sticking with their project plan. They're even not looking the JIRA. This is my only not only but biggest headache in this environment where I'm working. And
where did those project plans live that people were using instead of kind of using a tool that everybody agreed on? Like what?
Did you heard Microsoft Professional, my nemesis? Yes, it's up to people. Of course, I can't put pressure people. Oh, how come you're using this? But use. But we, as a Scrum team, we have a sprint planning, isn't it? Sprint duration. We have capacity. We are sizing what we have, and allocating people. If there is a spike or anything, and we're identify on the sprint planning, creating sprint goal, which is realistic, and inviting even the PO, inviting POs on these planning meetings, and it should be aligned what we have, isn't it, as a project wise and deliverable date. But the expectation, they even identify and they use the same words, because generally when we have an untechnical POs, that they want to have more easy, like a short lines for the milestone wise, but as a Scrum team we need to break down, otherwise we can't size it, otherwise we can't create a sprint goal.
So was there a conflict, right? Like product owners just wanted to have these very high level descriptions, and then the team was trying to break things down in order to be able to. And how did you solve that conflict?
Try to be bridge is my weakest point. I always trying to sort it problems and not helping for myself, but it's helping the people at least. Just trying to understand why where is PO is coming from, because of course he's own it, he needs to deliver. He respect the teams, how they want to work, which is way of working with our Scrum. But at the same time, he needs to get what he needs. Like achievable dates, the blockers or dependencies, because generally my team's working backend purely. And it's very complicated areas and very big services and tons of dependency. And if you're having new person, non-technical person, it's turns like a hell. But of course, it's up to them and up to us. We need to provide what, we need to reply their answers, because doesn't matter. There's no silly answers, isn't it? They're the questions. But I am trying to explain, because I'm not technical person either. If it doesn't make sense.
So you try to kind of translate what the product owner is looking for, but also in a way that the teams are able to provide that information, right? Because otherwise the teams might be just doing something completely different, and then there's no translation into what the product owner is asking.
Yeah, and it can change it either. Sometimes they de-scoping one part of the project, and it's coming from the client call with the PO, and PO's coming saying, "Oh, they de-scope that bit, and let's adaptate again." Of course, this is the magic of the Scrum, isn't it? We keep adaptating, and that's why we keep repeating, our Scrum ceremonies, because everything can change easily, and that's why it's.
Mm-hmm. And that's actually a very important aspect, right? Because from our perspective, team and Scrum Master, we accept that there's constant adaptation, and of course, the product owners benefit from that, because if there are changes that they want, then we can adapt to those changes. But sometimes there's something lost in translation, where we are actually adapting to a change that was requested, meaning we, the team, and the Scrum Master. But then the product owner thinks that everything that was agreed before is still agreed, and then there's more on top, right? And we need to balance that understanding between, what we can adapt, because we can adapt, but also the decisions that we need to make, because if we change direction, there are things that are not going to get done, right? And if we don't have a tool to do that, if we don't have something like a backlog, for example, when we talk about Scrum, then there's no way to collaborate. So I think one of the things that you already referred to is this importance of having the same tool that is used by product owners and by the teams, right? If everybody's got their own tool, there's no way that we can agree on what we are going to work, and we can't even create visibility on what we are working on at the moment.
Yeah, because you can't rely on human memory, especially if you're working on software, if you're working with so many acronyms, there's so many different tasks. Of course, you need to create something and document it and link it, the plan it. And this change thing is just not to happen for the PO. It's happening even inside the team. For example, I was just, the sizing backlog, assigning people. Sometimes it's not easy to the size the task because they don't know and they can easily push you back, and they're logging the times. There's a function on the tickets, the people's logging time, because it's kind of lesson learned, because we just impacted like 4 days from one task. And if we can keep log the times, and because sometimes it's difficult, isn't it? But when you introduce these kind of things, it's a big no, or just neglect or avoid or ignore. But just keep repeating, if we can do this, it's going to help for this. And for next sprint, we can say, it's going to be more easy. It's going to be for everyone's benefits. But yeah, it just doesn't matter how small, how big the change it is. As a human reaction, they will react first and after.
Yeah, absolutely.
Accept or not accept. Yeah.
And as Scrum Masters, we need to be the ones navigating this, right? I think that the way you started the story, like trying to bring kind of this common tool for everybody, that's a great example of a change that we can help introduce that helps to navigate these different perspectives. Thank you for sharing that story, Deniz.
No worries.
Hey, friend, thank you for staying. Here is all you need to know about the Global Agile Summit. If you've ever suffered or know people who are suffering from agile fatigue, this event is for you. Agile fatigue is that feeling that settles in when we can't really see a light at the end of the tunnel. We get discouraged, especially when conversations revolve around the same old frameworks, the same old buzzwords and theories. We don't feel that energy anymore. Well, the Global Agile Summit is a different kind of event. We're bringing you real-life first-person stories of Agile succeeding out there in the real world that will inspire you to take action and transform the way you work. The Global Agile Summit will happen in Tallinn, Estonia, May 18th, that's the workshop day, and then 19th and 20th, the conference day. And Tallinn, Estonia is one of the most innovative tech hubs in Europe. The Global Agile Summit is hosted together with Latitude 59, which is kind of a citywide celebration of software startups and groundbreaking ideas. And we'll have a shared ticket for you to attend those events as well. So who will be speaking? Well, we've got an incredible lineup of thought leaders in software and Agile. For example, Clinton Keith, the person who literally wrote the book on game development with Scrum, and is busy bringing Agile to the world of game development. You must check his session. The very famous and well-known Jürgen Apelo, author of Management 3.0, will be talking and exploring about AI's impact on leadership. We also have Gojko Adzic, who's taking an unconventional look at the product growth with his lizard optimization keynote. Other speakers include, for example, Sven Dietz, who's challenging everything we know about software development by ditching contracts and estimates. Can you imagine? His teams deliver software before their competitors are even done with the contract negotiation. How agile is that? But there's more. We'll cover engineering practices in our developer track with talks on, for example, AI-assisted test-driven development, developing products in minutes with a different approach to how we develop, configure, deploy platforms, and much more. We also have a product track where we cover cutting-edge ideas around product discovery, delighting customers with product delight frameworks. We'll have a talk about that. And we also have an agile business track where we will talk about, for example, open strategy, a very agile approach to managing organizations and delivering software faster to clients, faster than you can even write a contract, literally. I mean, I already told you about Sven Dietz's story. It's amazing. It definitely is a must see. I'm sure you'll be inspired and get a lot of ideas for your own software projects and software delivery. Now, whether you're a business leader, a product innovator, or a developer, you'll definitely find value in our 3 focused tracks. That's Agile Business for those working with businesses and organizations, Agile Product for product managers, product owners, and innovators, and Agile Developer for the builders, making Agile work in practice, the coders, the testers, the designers, the producers, the Scrum Masters, you name it. If you join, you will meet over 200 Agile professionals from all over the world. People who, just like you, want to grow, want to share, and want to learn by challenging the ideas that don't work anymore. At the Global Agile Summit, you'll get new connections, fresh ideas, and the energy to take your own Agile to the next level. And who knows, maybe even find your next career opportunity. So don't miss out. Check out the full program and grab your ticket now at globalagilesummit.com. I'm really looking forward to seeing you all in Tallinn, Estonia in May. I'll see you there.